A quick test of the ribbon cable that came with the two boards on my ribbon cable tester. That LM1458 was pulled out of U5 on this High Speed MPU board, and I also have the sound board. I suspected U5 because all of the sound coming from the sound board itself, from the MPU itself, was very light. At full volume, you could just barely hear the sound. So here's where the sound goes out to the volume pot. If you follow back, you get to U5, which is in the path of both the CVSD output, the 55516, and the 1408 output. So all sound has to pass through this 1458. And since all sound was very soft, I reasoned that that was the part. And it turns out that it is the part. So let's boot it up. Interesting, some high-speed MPUs make a dink sound and some do not. So I'm booted up. You can see that's the normal display operation. The track mode lights are on. The only coil that's lit up is a coin door lockout coil. So let's get right into test. And all of that sound is coming from the client's background soundboard, which all I did to that was replace a 10 microfarad and a 100 microfarad filter cap, just for good measure. They were here. I had the caps. Sound like Bill Murray on Groundhog Day. I was here. I had the tire and the jack. So the display test works fine. So when I did that before, it was very soft, and it probably wouldn't have picked up with the camera. So here's all lamps and single lamps. Got some ghosting because after all that is an LED display. Coil test. This one burned me again. On this revision of the board, the ground connector J13 must be connected to ground, otherwise these solenoid drives just won't light up. Now I'm going to make a modification after I take this off the bench to fix that. I'll tie J13 to board ground. So there's the special solenoids operating as they're driven by switches. And we can do switch edges, and the last switch on high speed is 52. See if I can get 52 here. There it is. And we can go through the audits and adjustments. 23, I believe, is free play. Yes, I did install NV RAM, so this MPU will now boot in free play mode. There's the ribbon that I tested. So I installed NV RAM. I did replace the 1458. Usually I don't socket them, but this time I did. I pulled the wrong chip initially, so I put a socket there too. That was just me looking at the board backwards. Replace these 10 microfarad caps in the sound section. There's 100 microfarad there, 470 here, 310s here, 22 here, all changed out. The power input header was changed out. And, oh yeah, I've got to test this, but the ROM may have been bad here. This is a new ROM that I put in here. But she's good to go. I thank you so much for sending it.